Build Back Better is still in some form of, I don't know, arrested development. I don't know. What do you, cold storage? I don't know what you call it.
Life support, cryogenics.
Exactly. Chuck Schumer is, however, turning up the pressure on voting rights. He apparently, according to a Dear Colleague letter, he will hold a vote on some type of filibuster reform, specifically in regards to voting rights. Here he is with Joy Reid explaining.
Have the two conservative Democrats who've been standing in the way of changing the filibuster signed on to anything that looks like either of those two options?
We are having active discussions with them, several a day. I just spoke to Senator Manchin 3 or 4 hours ago. And even over the holiday break, the New Year's and Christmas break, we've been talking constantly, not just me, but just about every one of the 48 Democratic senators who supports not only the proposal, the Freedom to Vote Act and the John Lewis Restore the Voting Rights Act, but changing the rules. There are a variety of different rules changes, some of which you've mentioned, some of which you haven't, which we're exploring with them, which we're pushing with them. And whichever one works to get us to have voting rights kept, to undo the pernicious activities of the Republican legislatures, we will accept. And we're having constant discussions. And we've said to them, you, both Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema, say they believe in voting rights. Good. That's great. And they are sponsors of the Freedom to Vote Act and the John Lewis Act. But just to believe in it and not change the rules. And we're making it clear to them, Joy, that even a paragon who believed in the Senate rules, Robert C. Byrd, changed the rules 9 times.
I mean, that's a message specifically from Manchin. It seems very hard to believe that Kyrsten Sinema at this point, too. And there's a real sense that Sinema realizes she may have made a grave miscalculation, thinking that she could do some type of mirror version of John McCain. Because the polling is out and she's in big trouble in the Democratic Party. And it is... And I imagine she got out a little ahead of her skis, in front of her skis, before she saw how Mark Kelly is going to do in 2024. Because it looks like 2022. Mark Kelly is up for re-election. He might do a little better than she anticipated. So the real issue here is Manchin, and that is why Schumer talks about Byrd, because supposedly, in the narrative that Manchin at least wants to be put out there, that his fealty to the filibuster is a function of Robert Byrd. And so the argument will be made in that way. And this is part of Joe Manchin's Reformation project, it seems to me. So I wouldn't be surprised if we do see some version of filibuster reform narrowly tailored to some type of voting rights bill. But we'll see. We'll have a better sense of this in the coming weeks. As far as Build Back Better, of course, once Joe Manchin, if he does go along with the idea of cutting back on the filibuster in some way, he basically owns Build Back Better and will be able to do whatever he wants, which, of course, it sounds like immiserate people who have been benefiting from the child tax credit. We have an insane system in this country.